And good evening and welcome to City Focus. I'm Marty Olsen, your host, and tonight I'm delighted to welcome back my friend and yours, Chef Tomm Johnson, who goes by Chef Tomm, and welcome back.
Thanks for having me. And
I always like to give him an opportunity to kind of give an overview of what he's doing. He's runs a culinary program at Newland High School, and you have a way where you get things to expand and grow and get more people and attention and more kids are involved, and you do that. And then when COVID hit, a need for food in the community became acute. And you stepped to the plate and you started a program that's got the name Whalers Helping Whalers, and it's housed down at the Elks Lodge on Washington Street. And the Elks have been a terrific host.
Absolutely.
And I just think it's marvelous what you've been able to accomplish, and you provide food, and you've done gifts and Christmas and boots, and I mean, and you take on things, and the level of enthusiasm that you bring and you have a good group of volunteers that work with you to assist you. But I'd rather turn the floor over to you to share,
Sure.
How you got started with the Whalers Helping Whalers, and just a synopsis, and how how it's gotten from there when COVID broke to now.
Okay. Well, again, at the beginning of the pandemic, this mainly came out of my school kids. They would come up to me, Chef Tomm, I'm hungry. You know, a lot of them were at home, they couldn't come to school, and so it stressed me out. So how can I find a way to get food in these kids' bellies and for their families to take care of everyone as much as possible? So the first weekend, we had 4 chefs, and we made 250 meals, and we thought, oh, this is great. It's such a great thing, and little we know that didn't even begin to scratch the surface. So since then, we started doing up to 1,000 meals a week, which was kind of cool because we had local restaurants like what's a wing place?
The wing place is
Hot Rods.
Hot Rods,
Good
yeah,
Lord.
that's the right corner.
We had Ivy's help out. We had a lot of local places help out. They prepare 100 meals for us, and we'd again have those delivered to people in the community. And then we found that there was a need for a pantry, and so we started a pantry. And you know, we had our pantries kind of a little different pantry than other pantries because they come in and there's like a grocery store set up. They come, they take what they want, and you know, when I first started doing this, oh, you can't just give them what they want because they're going to just take everything and there's not going to be anything else. That's actually quite the contrary, because people know there's other people in line. They only take what they need. We give them a week's worth of food, and they take what they need, and they have stuff for the other people coming later than them. So yeah, they have choice what they want. So far, we have given out 850,000 pounds of bulk food, and we've done like 45,000 hot meals for people who can't cook. So then we found a need for winter jackets, hats, gloves, and boots. So we were working with TVCCA, and then they wanted to drop that program, so we picked it up from them, and we have given out, at least 900 pairs of boots. This last 2 years, we give out
primarily for children or for children and adults?
Both. Because how can you have a parent with a winter jacket and their little kid they both have to have jackets. So we've got now 1,000 winter hats, 1,300 jackets, 1,000 pairs of gloves, 900 pairs of boots over the last 2 years. So
are you buying that stuff, or is it being donated?
we are buying it. So we have to raise money to buy these things. We pretty much have to raise money for everything, because pre-COVID you could get sponsors pretty easy, but now everyone's hurting for money. No one has, hey, here, Tom, here's $10,000. And we do work with some local banks, and they have given us some money. There's other groups like yours, Kiwanis, who've given us money for things like this. But most of it, we have to try to write grants for and raise it. Because to me, also, it's not really fair to keep asking these companies who are some local, hey, keep giving me money, and you don't have anything for yourself. So we kind of want to pay for our service, because it kind of just makes sense.
So that's it's really amazing to me how it's grown exponentially. Now the pantry, when is that open?
Pantry's open on Saturdays from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and I will tell you, if someone shows up at 1:30, we're going to take care of them. So there's not like Whalers helping Whalers, all about taking care of people. We love the people in London. We want to take them the best we can. So if they show up a little bit late, we're not saying, oh, the door's closed, you can't. There's been times when I walked out at 3 o'clock, to get everything done, and someone's at the front door. It's like, oh, and I still got an hour and a half drive home, and we still want to feed them. So it's not like, it's like they're your family. They're the people in London. That's our goal, is to take care of as many as people. We're very ambitious, very hardcore at taking care of people. And
you're not querying people at the door about their income. I mean, whoever shows comes in.
When they come in, if they're a first-time visitor, we have like a screen to show who's been there, who hasn't been there. There's like self-attestment, and here's how much you can make, and I think it's like $100,000, and so we don't have people fall in that category. I don't even fall in that category. So
you're an educator.
I am an educator, and nowhere close to $100,000. So everything we do is to take care of the people in London. We keep adding services. We just did bikes. We have like Bikes for Kids. CT has donated over 100 bikes, and so some of these bikes, when they take a bike, they have to take a helmet. And the bikes for little kids to adults, they have big bikes too. And some of these people are actually using the bikes for transportation back and forth to work, back and forth to school. So I never thought we'd be where we're at today. We just have so much going on there. As you can tell, Santa Claus, I got to look, and I'm going to Santa College in October. To learn how to be a professional, even though I've done it for 4 years. And this, yeah. I'm going to do it. I joined the Santa Association. I'll have a card next time I show you. I'll be official Santa Claus. But, the idea...
I'm just an amateur compared to you here. I mean, but we both at least have real growth.
Yes. And, this is about a year, and I'm going to let it go down to here. And I'm going to, I want to be Santa Claus for the kids. This past Christmas, we did 450 families, not kids, families. We acquired 2 tractor-trailer trucks at Toys, from Toys for Tots. And, and we got those. There were some other nonprofits in London who didn't have enough toys. And so, of course, we're all about taking care of the families, the kids in London. We gave them some toys, gave them some bikes so they could have their celebration be just as successful as ours. This past weekend, we were out there. We had an Easter egg hunt. My kids are young. They're 17, 15, 11 now. We were able to have these huge Easter egg hunts where there's whole fields filled with eggs. Kids going out. We did by different age groups, and we give away 6,000 eggs. Again, we want to have family-style events here in London, so they feel like it's a family community environment. We do our back-to-school event August 19th. We'll have at least 600 backpacks. Again, we'll have music. We'll have food. The kids come in. We work with Staples, and so we have all our back-to-school supplies. They come in, they have a good time, listen to music, eat some food. Again, a nice community event. The kids take their stuff, they get excited to go back to school, and we set them off and ready to go.
Yeah. Well, the Elks have got a bike program coming up, I think in early May, the Lids for
Lids
Kids.
for Kids.
You're going to participate with that this year? I mean, a couple of years ago you did.
We will, but there's a slight problem with scheduling this year because I will be in Washington, D.C. Accepting like a Community Leadership Award from the Director of FBI.
Ah.
So May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I'll be in Washington, D.C. With them and getting an award for all that we do here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's pretty cool stuff. So how did FBI find out about me? First, when they called me, the FBI called me, it's like, oh man.
What did I do wrong?
What I do. And turned out I did nothing wrong. It was nothing but good. And actually, Chief Wright put me in for that.
Oh, wow. Okay, good.
So, and we work very well with police department, the fire department, Elks, of course, your group, of course, Kiwanis. We work well with Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anyone else in there, but we work with a lot of Safe Futures, work with a lot of different groups. Because we have a really weird philosophy on the food. When we get in, we want to give it all away. Some people, oh, you got to hold that for next week. No, we'll get more next week. We'll figure it out next week. And we want to make sure these people have the food they need so their kids can go to school, so they can go to work, and so they can have successful lives. Because without us, I'm kind of nervous about what happened to them, where they would be, what their kids would have. We also have clothes. We have toys downstairs. We have furniture. We're about to take over furniture organization and put them in the basement with us. So we have furniture for them, beds, dressers. So there's really, if we can find a way to get to the people in London, we'll get it.
Well, I'm absolutely, I can't express how terrific a job that you and all your folks, and it's volunteers. We're not dealing with a highly paid staff here. This is
we have some part-time employees, but we have grants to take care of that. So, grants are written specifically for that. So there's not like we don't have like a lot of these other nonprofits. They have full-time employees. So when we go write grants, it's like me or Kathy or some other people who do that after we get done with work. And to write these things, it's us doing it. Mainly Kathy now, and then it was Aaron. But we're out there, trying to find this funding, and we don't have like professional grant writers. We're just out there, full of energy, trying to get this stuff done.
Yeah, and my fellow Kiwanian and friend Brian Dowdy, he's been active with your group, and I know he runs out to the Niantic on Saturday mornings.
Giuliano's
brings back a carload of bread.
Yeah. I can't even tell you how many volunteers we have. And one of the cool things about our volunteer pool now is the people who would go through Lyme are our volunteers. So, the only time we have to pay for people like on Thursdays when our deliveries, all the deliveries come on Thursday. So tomorrow. So food shares deliver 10,000 pounds of food. We'll go to Jim Maria and get some food. Next Thursday, diapers. We have diapers. We can give 200 kids 100 diapers a month. We can give 150 seniors about 80 diapers a month. So when we take care of the Mohican, we take care of Huntington Towers, and there's 4 others in London, and I like to take care of them too. But right now, I guess that's not in the cards because the city doesn't control those buildings, so the city can't tell them, hey, let Chef Tomm in there. So we would love to get in there and take care of everyone. We also take care of vet homes.
So you must be working then with Kathy Zoll, the Homeless Hospitality or Covenant Shelter?
You don't.
No?
There might be some things you do with them. I think there's...
The Homeless Hospitality has some veterans' homes for the homeless.
This one, I don't know if that's for them. I work with a lady named Mirka, and so I don't know if that's a VA home.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure. But if they need help, we're there.
Yeah.
Just let us know. And one of the cool things that we do is we started a partnership with DoorDash, last year, and we are the #1 deliverer of food in Connecticut. So, you know, they come in on Saturdays, and we have all the stuff delivered to we deliver to the Hunting Towers, Mohican, the veterans homes. Then we have we probably have 10 or 15 families who can't actually make it in. We have a disabled vet on our list. So we have all these people who can't make it. We had this one guy, Chuck, and he would come down in his wheelchair. He'd come out the back gate and say, Chuck, give me your address. Let me know what you need. We'll deliver it to you. You don't need to come down in a wheelchair. I thought it's so much energy to come down there and try to get it. It's like, we got you. Whatever you need, just let us know, and we'll take care of you.
That's fantastic. Now, I know the last time I stopped in and you gave me a nice tour of your operations, and you'd actually expanded into some of the basement space, which I hadn't. I'm a member of the Elks Lodge. Haven't been in, and I mean, so you're taking over the building to a degree. We are.
We took over the whole basement. And so something we do that a lot of people may not know, we work really close to the police department and fire department. Now in the basement, they have their own room with their own lock. So if they need like toys or need bikes for some kids, they have access to their own room with their stuff in, or they have access to all their stuff. So if the police need diapers, or the police need formula, or the fire department got kind of lucky because we got this big donation of remote control fire engines. So now I gave them to to Joe Knott and say, here, give these out. So how cool is that? You go on a call and you can give a kid a remote control fire engine. You know, I wish they had police cars, but they don't have police cars. So I'll give them to them too. You know, so the things we do in the community is pretty major. And I don't think a lot of people know everything we do. And even if you stop in every 3 months, we do a lot. And I will have to say,
you're a dynamic organization. You're certainly not static. You're not standing still. And you're meeting needs, and people come in with different thoughts and ideas. And, geez, can you do this? Have you thought of that? And it's like...
And yeah, we're at that point. But, you know, the funny part about it is we've taken over a whole basement. And, you know, so there's I don't know, there's really no more rooms left. So we're going to have to consolidate our stuff and make room for the furniture. And, you know, so, but Elks is a big basement.
It's a big building.
Yeah, it's a big building. So, you know, we have, if you go in the first floor and take a left, all where the old bar was, we have all that. We have a dry storage area further in the back. Then we have a refrigerator. We have a big chest freezer down there for all the stuff we have. So,
and I know that, again, going back to that last time that you want to give me a little tour, is that there were some areas of the building that you know, I think you were working with and negotiating with the Elks in terms of getting, I don't know if it was a walk-in refrigeration or repairs to be made that would enhance the building as well as your own program. But I mean, for some reason the program was to, you know, collapse. That needed renovation would be taking place or improvement.
Yeah. So right now we're trying to raise enough money to buy a new walk-in refrigerator and freezer, because the one at the Elks, it still works, but you know, it's not on a good health. I mean, it still keeps temperature, that's great, but I don't want to wait till that dies before we have a plan in place. So we've asked for money from several organizations, and so far we haven't been able to get any funding. But we're still working on it. It's not like we don't stop. We just, how are we going to do this and how we can make this happen? So there's always more plans and action. And, you know, the only time I ever got caught flat-footed was when we filled out the paperwork for the first ARPA round, and I was under impression we get $175,000, so I didn't do any fundraising. Then he gave us $0. That was painful. I didn't expect that. I was kind of led to believe we would get that money, and we got $0, and it's like, you know, how do we recover from it? And, you know, so we're recovering, but, you know, and we're still keeping our services going, but at some point in time, if we don't get funding, you know, our service will have to drop because, and it's not because we need money for salaries, it's because we will have money for food. Because even though we have...
What's your biggest supplier of food?
Food Share. So we get food from Food Share, which they're pretty awesome. Jim Moran is there too. And we actually go to a new pantry up in Manchester called the Midwest Pantry of New England. And we send like a 20-foot U-Haul truck up there. We get it filled and we bring it back. And like their pantry is a little bit different because we can get different items from there that we can't quite get from here. So, you know, we're always looking for different organizations to help us out. We're not shy of this. Hey, you want to take out? Sure, I'll take your help. You know, you want to give me 100 rolls of toilet paper? Send them. You know, because these people need that. You know, so whatever we can get for them, we try to get them, and we want to take care of the kids and the families of New London.
It's absolutely fascinating. It's terrific, and I mean, something that, like I say, germinated from COVID, from, as you say, from an initial 250 meals to a robust and growing needs-based service.
Yeah, and you said, like I said, my kids at school told me they're hungry, and as a dad, that just doesn't sit right with me because you know no one could work. They didn't have any food. How are they gonna get food? We fixed that, and you know I thought when COVID kind of let up, now the inflation is killing everyone. I mean, I go to the grocery store and for $150, my cart's even halfway filled up. It's like, what did I buy? $150 for that? So I can only imagine, like the seniors on the fixed income, how they're going to manage that. You know, if we collapse, how would they get their food? You know, how would all these people get their food? We actually took, I don't know, we had like 100 and some testimonials last weekend alone, trying to let people know, here, this is what happens, we need, you know, and some people totally depend on us. You know, so it's...
Do you worry that if you start getting government support, whether it be locally, or I don't know if you've ever reached out to the state, that the bureaucracy and the strings attached to state funding could interfere with or corrupt what you're doing?
Well, that's happening now with our second round ARPA money. The $33,000 got to be spent on certain things, and so that's kind of a nightmare for us. Although it's good because we could take care of some of our events, we take care of some of our part-time employees. I think we bought some jackets with it. Sometimes it's tricky because things come up that we don't expect to come up, and sometimes it's harder to, like our U-Haul truck. We have to run the U-Haul once a month to go up to Manchester to get 20,000 pounds, I don't know how many pounds, we got a lot of food, and bring it down there. We can't use any grant money for that. So $250 a month, that hurts. You know, so there's a lot of things that are kind of painful on all this.
Yeah. Are you still getting the level of cooperation that you had on the get-go from a lot of the local restaurateurs and in terms of their cooperation in meal preparation and things of that nature?
Well, believe it or not, the demand for meals has gone down. We only do 200 a week, and so we just take that in here. But there are organizations that, hey, can you do 100 meals a week? Hey, can you do 100 meals a week? They'll do it for us. But right now, we have that under control at the Elks.
Good. That's terrific. Now, you in particular, but the organization made the paper recently you had applied for Community Development Block Grant Funds, or CDBG, and based on the article that I read, it appears that there were some significant cuts to a rather modest request. What was that funding that you had applied for?
Okay.
What were you planning to utilize that for?
So 44,000 was for new walk-in.
That was the walk-in we were just discussing.
Yes, because I want to get that done. It stresses me. So what's going to happen if that thing breaks down? What are we going to do for food for these people? Believe it or not, sometimes it keeps me up at night. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen if this happens? Or, I run snares in my head, how we get food to these people, because they're your family. When they see me, they know me. Their kids know me. Their aunts know me. Their uncles know me. And, I don't speak Spanish. Most speak Spanish, and they come and talk to me in broken English or my horrible Spanish, which is like almost non-existent. So I worry about these people. We care so deeply about these families. So when we get denied things, and this same stuff was applied for in the first round of ARPA money, because we needed it then, we need it now, and so, it's.
But a walk-in would be, and that's a capital improvement. It's not. We're going to be going to the well each year for that. You get that done, and that should last for, 10, 15, 20, 30 years?
At least, because it's a beautiful walk-in, and it'll be a bigger walk-in with a freezer on it, so we can have our stuff there, keep stuff in the freezer, and it'll be much more beneficial for everyone to have that.
Yeah. I realize, as a former counselor, that there's a high level of competitiveness for this funding. And the bulk of it goes to the department in the city that administers the program.
Which I think is kind of funny that all that money goes to that. Maybe the city should fund that and give the money to the nonprofits who need it. If you look at a nonprofit, how much money it costs to run our nonprofit versus other ones, again, we have no full-time employees. I'd be the closest thing to full-time employee because I definitely put full-time hours in, but sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't. For the first 2.5 years, there was no money for that. Then there was a little bit of money for it, and now that's almost gone. And so if nothing comes up, I'm still going to do it because I can't let these people down. That's just the way you work, but that's just...
Yeah, well, one of the things that I recall, is that I'm painting with a broad brush here, but where it seems as if, the organizations that are running efficiently and smoothly, and they're penalized for doing a good job, and that there are some agencies that are a little bit loosey-goosey, and they're rewarded for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about that. I just wonder, where the first round of ARP money, all those people really spending all those $100,000 on what they say they did, and are they being accountable for what they took money for? Because, we're accountable to the people too, and the people love us, and then we work on such a small budget. I can't see how any other nonprofit can do what we do on our budget. Even if they had a bigger budget, how can they do all these services for people? And one of the things they say, there's so much need out there. It's like, yeah, but who's doing what Whalers Helping Whalers is doing? I look at all these other organizations, and not that there's anything wrong with any of these guys, but are they doing what we're doing? And I just don't see that.
Well, you have to keep trying, keep plugging, and
I'm persistent.
Well, I've noticed that. I've known you now a few years, and one of the things that appeals to me about you is that you are persistent. You don't give up. You don't throw in the towel.
I'm stubborn.
And folks, I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but Chef Tomm, he commutes from Manchester. So
from Canton.
Canton.
Yeah.
So that's up in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
So you're got an hour and a half commute one way.
One way. And that's if there's no traffic and no bad weather.
So, and he's in New London a lot.
6 days a week.
And more than most. And I think those that you are directly serving and they see you appreciate everything you do. I'm not sure that others that perhaps are on the periphery at best have a full grasp of the time and energy and effort that you're putting into this and have stuck with it. 'Cause I remember asking you when you first started, I mean, is this gonna end when COVID ends? And you were really kind of, well, I'm not sure. And as things have evolved, I mean, the need has grown, and you have grown with it, and the Whalers Helping Whalers has grown with it, and you've expanded your services and the things that you're doing. I mean, do you see anything new and exciting on the horizon as we sit here this evening?
Well, the furniture bank we're taking over, that'll be something kind of cool. That'll be up and running probably within 2 weeks. So we'll have more things for people in need.
Yeah. You talk to a guy like John Russell about that? Because he runs that second-hand store down on Golden Street with furniture and a lot of knickknacks and of stuff.
John Russell's my partner in crime. A lot of times I go there when people don't have what they need and we get it for them. There's a lot of times when Whalers Helping Whalers will buy things for people, and tomorrow I'll be spending some money for another family because Whaler Helping Whaler, we don't have enough funds. So these people live on the floor, and so I will take care of them tomorrow with John and get them some things.
Well, John's very civic-minded.
He's awesome.
He has been working with the homeless for well over a decade, and he's passionate about it.
He's like, when we talk about things, like we're very similar-minded. It's like we get it in there, we want to get it out of there because we got something else coming in. So same thing with his furniture. Goes, Tom, I'm gonna get some of this stuff out of here because I want to get more stuff in. And it's like, hey, that sounds like me. So let me help you with that. We don't have a lot of money, but I will personally pay for it because we don't have enough funds. We're some Whalers. So, that's how much, I'm a school teacher. I don't make enough money to be buying furniture, but if they don't have it, what are we going to do?
Yeah. Now, have you had an opportunity to meet and work with the new exalted ruler at the Elks, Melvin Rivera?
No.
Graham just finished up his year at the helm.
Yeah.
John Graham. And
I mainly deal with Keith at the Elks. It makes things much easier for me because those guys come and go, but Keith's always
he's there.
He's there. So when I want to get stuff done, hey Keith, I want to do this. Okay. And he's been such a great support of everything we do. He's the guy I convinced at the get-go because we didn't have a place to cook food out of. Say, hey Keith, what do you think of us coming in and doing some stuff here, making some meals? Sure. And then I said, we don't have any money to pay you. He said, go ahead. And so, every time I want to do something, Keith's guy talked, hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do this. And Keith, yeah. I'll take care of it. And
Keith is in Keith Robbins, folks.
Yeah, Keith Robbins.
Keith Robbins, and he's a very, very, very active down at the lodge, and he runs the events down there and the banquet halls, and so he's on top of the facilities, and it's obvious that he's been very cooperative and helpful.
Oh yeah, and some of the things I didn't even think about doing. Yeah, why don't you take over the basement? Don't say that to me because I'll do it. And we've pretty much done it. We have different rooms. We have a bike room. We have a toy room. We have a furniture room. We have the police room. So if there's anything else we can do, clothes are down there too. Bedding items, pillows, sheets.
Now, if people want to volunteer to help out, what do they have to do?
Show up on Saturdays at 8 o'clock. We used to do this thing.
That's that simple. Show up on Saturday at 8 o'clock.
We used to do Sign Up Genius, and Sign Up Genius ended up being a nightmare because no one would sign up for it, but they would show up. So after a couple months of happening, it's like, all right, I'm not going to keep that activity anymore to show up. And we have a ton of volunteers who are always there, and they're just as dedicated as I am about making sure everyone gets what they need.
That's fantastic. And you've got people who provide transportation and make deliveries, and
Yeah.
and they're using their own vehicles. And
Well, we use DoorDash now. So we got a $20,000 grant from DoorDash, and that allows us to take the food and deliver to their houses, deliver to the senior center. Before we had DoorDash, we had an all-volunteer staff who would do that just because they want to do that. But when DoorDash offered, I say, hey, why not? You know, because these people are coming in for like a year and a half, not paid, using their vehicles, making sure everyone had food. It's like, well, if I can take this $20,000, I can get them back as volunteers if I need to. But right now, but even my DoorDash drivers, those guys are so awesome. They get there at 8 o'clock and they help us set up the baskets, get everything for the food going out. And, you know, so they come in whenever we need them to do something, they do it. So they're usually before, they're after, and like if someone shows up, say, hey, can you take this to this house? I got it, you know. And so they work sometimes unpaid. Say, hey, take this to this person's house. Hey, take that to this person's house, and off they go. That's how a whole crew is. Say, hey, I need this taken care of. Okay. And some people, some of my volunteers were on DoorDash, but now they just come in and volunteer, and they don't even do DoorDash on Saturday just because they want help. What we do.
It's amazing. You know, it's feeding on itself.
It is, and it's like, how do they do that? You know, but it's not me. It's all these volunteers around me, and you know, so it's you know, just persistence. And here's where we're at now, and here's where we're trying to make this work, and we're making it work. We're just, you know, funding is very tricky right now.
Yeah. Now, speaking of funding, now how, if anybody's watching right now, and if they're so inclined and would like to contribute, whether it be a one-time deal or periodically, how do they do that? Is there a place to mail a check? Is there online donations? Are there? Do they have to stop in on Saturdays and seek out Chef Tomm?
All of those. If you want to bring me a check for $1 million on Saturday, I'll be there. Whatever you can contribute, it's all great. So if you want to bring it to me at the Elks on Saturday, and I can give you a tour of what we do, that's fine. On our website, whalershelpingwhalers.org, and on our Facebook page, Whalers Helping Whalers, there's a GoFundMe account set up, so you can donate there. You can send a check to Whalers Helping Whalers to the Elks Club at 801 Washington Street in London. So there's many ways people can help out.
I think that's important that people, and are Whalers Helping Whalers a 501c3?
Yes.
I think that's important for folks to know, so that their donations are legitimate and they are tax deductible, and that they're protected.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important consideration, that you're just not, it's not going into a black hole.
Yeah. No, you know, I worry about that sometimes. I know some nonprofits make all this money, and it's like, well, what do they do with it? And, you know, it goes pretty much back to that. Right now we have grants for the few salaries we do have. And like I said, I didn't get paid last month. I may get paid this month, but, you know, I probably won't get paid for the next couple of months unless some grant comes in and helps us out. But I'll still keep doing it because it's important. These are my kids too. And, you know, it's important to make sure they have what they need to survive.
Well, I think that's fabulous. What's on tap for this coming Saturday? Anything special, or just kind of the routine?
Routine.
People know when they show up, they have an idea what they're doing and where to go and what to do. And
yeah, we're kind of. This is our volunteers. Like, I can sit in the back and just watch, and they, you know, this goes here, this goes here. They all know what they're supposed to do. And new volunteers, they just watch the older volunteers. So it kind of gets up there, runs itself. And sometimes even now, it runs so well, I might start working on grants while I'm there. I might start working on ordering some of the food because my schedule's so crazy. Sometimes I just don't have any other time but there to get it done.
Do you have any action with any of your students in your culinary program that interact with Whalers Helping Whalers?
We have some. They all know, because some of them are embarrassed to go to the food pantry. It's like, you're coming to my other house. Come here, come in the back door. I'll give you your food. You go out the door and you leave. It's fine. Some volunteer. They want to show up and help out with everything, so, if they want to stay a couple hours, they want to stay the whole day, and we're here for them.
And how many students are participating in your culinary program now that you've got new digs? It's I haven't been up to the school since the renovations. It's with COVID, it got very more challenging to get in. You just don't walk into the building. I kind of had that level of privilege at one point, but I think that would be frowned on.
Well, you can come in now. You can come in, you come down to see me in the kitchen, and they'll let you in. They have a new security thing, and you have to check your license, make sure you're all safe, and just let me know when you want to come in. Come in on a Friday because we're doing the lunches down there now, so you have some good stuff to eat. Expand the culinary program. We have this new chef. His name is Ben. He is phenomenal. Tuesday we get back. We're going to pork production, and we actually bought 3 whole pigs. And we have Sean Kelly from Salem Prime Cuts.
Ah.
He's coming in. He's to spend 2 days showing the kids how to butcher the pig and what meats are good for what. And Chef Ben knows enough about it. Well, he also knows how to break down the pigs, but Sean's new because he's world famous. He's pretty awesome. And he's to come down and show them, and Chef Ben will probably be cooking some stuff up so you get a chance to taste it while they're there. 2 weeks ago, we had chefs in from Basque Country, and we did paella.
Oh,
so yeah, we have different things coming up. I have April 25th. We have the guy from Mofongo, former student. He's come down and teach the kids how to make mofongo. So we're in world cuisine now. So whenever I can get a chef that cooks that cuisine every day to cook it, that's better. I can make paella. I can cut down the pig. I can do a lot of these things. But when you have a chef that's all they do every day, it's much nicer. The kids get into, oh my gosh, the chef's here just for me. Oh, I can't wait to see this. And so,
sometimes the having that outside presence gets the students more engaged. It's kind of like listening to your parents. If somebody else comes in and says the same thing, they're engaged. But I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, so we always have great stuff going on at the school. Kids, again, these are our kids. We want to teach them as we can. We just had 2 kids get accepted at Culinary of America this past month. And so a lot of kids are going on to careers in culinary. And it's pretty exciting because when I got there almost 10 years ago, it wasn't really all that.
No.
Do you remember my first classroom?
Yeah.
Had 8 burner stove, electric, a hood, and a convection oven. Now, level 1, each station has a convection oven, a 6 burner stove, a grill, and a work area with a sink. So there's 4 of those stations. And in my classroom, the level 2 and 3 kitchen, each station has a fryer, a grill, a 6 burner stove, oven underneath. We have 3 convection ovens. We have a wok station. We have a tilt skillet. We have smoker. We have a 60-quart mixer. We have a 20-quart mixer. We make our own pasta still from scratch. We do dry pasta and fresh pasta. I wish there was a program like this when I was in high school because they don't exist. when I came back from California to Connecticut, my goal was to build a program just like this. And again, like Whalers Helping Whalers, it blows my mind that we've been able to get this done.
Well, when I think about it, when they were planning this new school, there was a period there where your program was scrapped.
It was scrapped.
And a number of people went to bat and said, this is good. We want this. And don't you dare.
Yeah, there's
And
been a lot
they
of fights.
listened.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fights and a lot of disagreements along the way. And, you know, right now I'm kind of disagreeing with City Council and what they're doing here. But we'll get past it. We'll figure it out. And, you know, and if you look at my kitchen now, they're beautiful. I'm sure we'll work our way through this. I'm hoping they give us more funding than the $1,800. And I'm hoping they at least restore us to the $6,000 they originally said, what you said, CAC recommendation and admin recommendations. So hopefully Cedar White get us back to that level of funding. You know, it's not what we wanted. You know, we wanted $15,000 and, you know, $6,000. That's great. I'll take that. But $1,800 is like a smack in the face.
Yeah, well, let's keep our fingers crossed that there's people listening tonight and that they'll lobby their counselors to support Whalers Helping Whalers.
Yeah, and I guess the final vote is on Monday. So if you can call your city councilors and let them know, hey, help Whalers Helping Whalers. It's a great organization in London. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I'm behind you. That's why we got you on here.
That's awesome.
And I'm hoping our guys in the control room will, they've been doing a good job putting my programming up on YouTube. So if we can get this one up on YouTube, we can expand our audience here.
Yeah.
About what's going on, what you're doing, and the short-term deal with the city, but as well as helping out into the future.
Because we're not planning on going anywhere. We just have to find a way to get the funding for it. You know, and like some very creative. The kitchen's a $1.2 million project. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Do you do any interaction with OIC? Because I know they've got I think an elementary culinary program of sorts over there at the old Salt and Stall School.
You know, not really. This might sound funny to you, but Ben used to work at Lake Isles. Chef.
Really? Over at Lake Isles?
Yeah, for 20 years. And then he got tired of that. He wanted to have more time with his kids, so he went to OIC, and I snatched him out of OIC to be my guy. So, you know, Ben's awesome, such a great addition. You know, so much culinary knowledge. And I've only been around for a little bit over a year, but every time I talk to him, his knowledge is like fantastic. Sometimes you talk to chefs, and they're just talk. This guy actually knows. So when we talk about some classic techniques, he's got to say, hey, let's work on this technique. Got it. And he goes and does it. Or say, hey, Tom, I want to do this. And now I trust the guy. So you want to do that? Before I'd have to worry about, oh, they know what they're doing. But Ben is like the perfect partner in this.
Yeah. Now, I don't think this is directly correlated to what you're doing. But when Manny Rivera was in the district as superintendent, he had brought in some outside
brigade
culinary experts, but I think that was more for the cafeteria. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yeah.
Is that still in place, or did that disappear with COVID?
No, they're in place, and I think they do a fantastic job. You know, the food they create, you know, with the guidelines they have to come up with, highly dedicated chefs, work hard. You know, my hat's off to those guys because they have such constraints put on them. You know, how much fat, how much calories, how much this, how much that. And, you know, they nail it every day. So I think that's a great organization.
That's terrific. You know, and when students come into your program, they're doing that because they want to learn. This is not a mandatory course for graduation.
No.
You have to take this. So, do you find that what level of your students are going into culinary? I mean, and there's so many different ways to do it. I mean, there's food preparation, but there's administration. There's all different types of things that go into into food. It's not just dinner.
Yeah. Well, you know, I tell them I don't care if they're going to culinary. I want them to learn how to cook for themselves and their families. If you don't go to culinary, actually, I try to discourage them. Don't do it. It's a hard job. But if they want to still do it, like we put people according to America, we put people in Johnson, Wales. We have people travel around the world as chefs. So we have Josh Santiago, Mi Familia, who was in the program probably 5-6 years ago. So there's other students.
And his restaurant started on a tiny little place on Montauk Ave. He's expanded up on Broad Street into a bigger space.
Yeah. So we have a lot of success stories here in New London, and you know we want to keep making more. So you know, 2 programs in under 10 years. Wow.
Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. And I want to thank you for all you're doing for New London and all the folks that you've gotten involved. I mean, it's not just, as you say, it's not you. It's a team. It's a
huge team.
And to a degree, it's almost a family-like environment there. You got people coming in there and they want to help out.
It is, and I'm the guy who's out front. I'm front, talks to everyone and sees everyone, but we have a lot of people in the back who don't want to do what I do or can't do what I do. But I'm very comfortable being this person, being assertive, being persistent, and sometimes making people angry. I'm okay with that too, because I have the big picture in mind, and if they get frustrated for me in the short term, I'm okay with that too.
All righty. Well, listen, you're doing a great job, and I want to again thank you. Our time has amazingly exhausted here. Folks, you've been watching City Focus, and Chef Tomm's been my guest. It's been an invigorating conversation. And if you can help out in any way, whether it's volunteering or making some financial contributions to Whalers Helping Whalers, please do. They're serving a significant number of people in the community, and it's greatly, greatly appreciated. And I want to thank you for carving out an hour to spend here on City Focus.